Hey, welcome back to a new meeting, a new video interview. This time for this episode, we have Ryley Fritz and my friend and co-worker, Tiff. So, hello.
Hi,
Hey, Ryley, how are you?
good. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Ryley, what's your disability or diagnosis?
I have spina bifida amongst a few others. I have hydrocephalus and neurogenic bladder and bowel as well. And then kind of Chiari, but I've gotten better with it. That's it.
Great. So you're a member of the Spina Bifida world,
Mhm.
like us.
It's becoming a bigger and bigger world.
I know.
How do you deal with chronic pain?
Not on a daily basis. I don't. Every so often it'll occur, but on a daily basis, I don't really have any pain.
Do you use mobility aids? If so, how do they help you, and have you always used them, like wheelchair, walker, crunches, or whatever?
I use an electric wheelchair. I've used it. I had a manual chair when I was little, but when I got older, it just seemed better to use a like electric chair,
Mhm.
and it actually helps me be able to reach high places because it goes up and down, which is really cool. I've never had a chair like that before, and that's about it actually.
Yeah, sometimes depending on the strength, the tiredness, and all stuff, sometimes people are required to have a manual chair or sometimes a electric chair. Like for instance, Tiff has an electric chair, you have an electric chair, and I have a manual one. It's just a matter of strength and wanting to do things or not wanting to do things at a time,
Mhm.
and just matter of weather and stuff. So it depends.
What are some struggles you face on a daily basis, specifically with your disability?
On a daily basis, I deal with having a hard time getting dressed, and figuring out timing for my catheterization and medication, and then a little few things here and there that happen off and on throughout my day that are very random.
Yeah, like keeping up with the routine and trying to find like times and places sometimes to get catheterizes and bathroom stuff. So sometimes that could be hard. What is
Yeah.
the story that you could share about your disability or diagnosis? Anything that you want to share, bullying and anything.
I am a part of a group with a former Spartan racer named Misty Diaz, and we kind of help girls all over the world with primarily spina bifida. Some of them have cerebral palsy, but primarily spina bifida. And we help them with makeup and day-to-day living, anything. Some of them don't know anybody with a disability at all, even spina bifida. So it's really cool to help them because some of them live in countries that they don't have access to the same things that I may have access to. So it's a really cool outlet for me.
Yeah, and it's really cool to have like friends, even though they're in the other maybe in the other side of the world, maybe in Canada, like Tiff, maybe I don't know where you're from.
Ohio.
Maybe from Ohio, maybe from Los Angeles, from India, Budapest, or from any other countries. So, but it's I think it's good to have a tribe to people you can you can trust, and you can talk to every single day, like me and Tiff do.
Yeah.
Just like this morning, we were laughing really hard this morning. Right, so?
I know.
It's kind of like having a sisterhood that you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
One misconception people have about your disability.
That you can't do anything, that you can't go to work, you can't go to school, you can't feed yourself, you can't get dressed, like all the things. That's everything is a big misconception.
Yes. What is one thing you wish you could change about your disability or diagnosis?
That I could walk, because I feel like it'd be a big time saver for me, because I don't have to charge my chair. I don't have to worry about people bumping into my chair and worrying about if my chair is gonna die. It would probably be a lot easier.
Yeah,
just be able to get up and walk.
Yeah, sometimes you have to, with a motorized chair, you have to be aware that it could get out of charge, or it could get out of power or battery or whatever, or the chair can't don't turn on, so it can get out of whatever device and stuff. What is one thing you want people to know about your disability or diagnosis?
That even though it may look like we have to deal with a lot of medical stuff on a day-to-day basis, that's not all we do. We go to school, we go to work, we prepare meals, we take care of a family, we do all sorts of things besides sit in a hospital bed or sit in a wheelchair. We do so many things. Like art, we could write a book if we really wanted to. We could be on a TV show. The world is our oyster, really, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah. I have been in a TV show like 2 or 3 times. Sorry, Tiff.
Go ahead. Oh, what are some tools or resources society needs to make our environment more accessible?
Ramps that lead to somewhere besides a wall. I've had that happen. More elevators and lower counters, so that when you go to the bank, you don't have to yell your information. You just speak to them. And more opportunities to do things virtual. This day and age, really, honestly, you can do anything from home. And with our disability, a lot of people can't go to their job, but they can work from home. And I feel like more jobs should have that as an option, because you can do really any job, unless you're a firefighter or like an EMT or something. You can really honestly do almost any job from home.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do like so many jobs from home, like teaching, like call center or anything. Just give us an opportunity. How do you feel society treats disabled people?
It really depends on the person. I've had mostly positive experiences with people who just want to learn about my disability, but I feel like parents especially could do a lot better to teach their kids when they go out in society, oh, that person has some sort of disability that limits their mobility, even if they don't know really what that disability is, because then you have these kids who grow up being very judgmental because all we did was stare. They never came up and asked questions. I feel like parents should be like, why don't you go ask her some questions? Why is she in her chair? It never hurts to ask. It doesn't really bother anyone as long as we're able to educate someone.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes it's better to ask. There's not some there's not stupid questions, or
No.
there's not stupid questions. There are not rude questions. Well, there are a couple of rude questions, but they're not stupid questions.
And I feel like it may seem stupid, like if an adult says, "Were you born in your chair?" Like physically born in your chair. Were
I love that.
Right? I've been asked
I get that all the time
times.
too.
Or do you sleep in your wheelchair, like besides taking a nap? Like if an adult asks that, that'd be really weird. But if a kid asked, it'd be kind of funny. Be like, sure, kind of. And then you can really just open up and tell them everything, honestly.
Yeah, it's better to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think it's important to raise awareness for people with or without disability?
It's important because then you can educate not just your friends, but then your friends will tell their friends, and you can educate hundreds of people and make them be aware of something they may not have known or they were scared to learn about. Or they Googled it and were like, oh, that's what that is. Really, on Google, it's probably not true because it's not coming from the source. But that, honestly, yeah, that probably would be a lot better if people would stop Googling everything.
Yeah.
What is one thing people can learn and benefit from disability people or disabled people?
To be very accepting and have patience, because sometimes people have intellectual disabilities. Like I am delayed in math, and it was very hard for me to do math in school because teachers didn't understand how to teach me. But if they knew how to be more patient with that and knew how to tap into my brain, kind of, I probably would not be so behind in math that I am compared to my like my brothers and sisters. For sure.
Yeah.
If you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be and why?
Not to give up on your dreams because they will eventually happen, and to never stop teaching people about your disability, because you're helping so many people later in life.
Yeah. How do you deal with bullying, whether it's in person or cyberbullying, if you have dealt with it?
I personally have not dealt with it, but I know people who have, and I've actually had to help them with their situations. And it's, I think it's best if they're bullying you because of your disability, whether it's on the internet or like face to face, it's better to educate them, because at the end of the day, they're probably afraid to ask you and they're just curious, but they go about it in a mean way because that's all they know how to do. So if you educate them and you keep doing it, keep educating them, eventually they will understand. It may take time, but eventually they will be like, okay, it's not worth it to bully those people because they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, they don't. I feel that they don't know how, or how's a good way to treat us or just stuck with us.
Yeah.
How has your disability helped shape you as a person?
Your camera, please.
It's made me more accepting of other people, more understanding, because now when I go out in public and I see someone who may have autism and they're having like a meltdown, I'm like, oh, they have autism. It's not just a kid screaming their head off in Walmart, because I get it. I understand what they're dealing with.
Yeah, sometimes with everything we have talked, it's better to ask than to assume. Like,
Mhm.
don't just assume like they are rude or they are misbehaving. They don't want to stand up. We just have a disability, a different way to live life.
Mhm.
What's the most traumatic or frightening experience you have had in your life, if you had one, like a very scary surgery or anything you want to share, if you want to share?
When I had my most recent surgery, I had this one nurse that was just probably should not be dealing with somebody with special needs or any sort of disability at all. She kind of left me alone, and I ended up getting a pressure sore because of it, because she refused to help keep my skin clean. And then I ended up leaving the hospital, getting that pressure sore, and having to go back. And I was there for almost 2 weeks after that, so I was there for almost a month altogether. And it took till 2019 for my wound to heal, all because the nurse refused to help me. It was awful. It was horrible.
Just for an neglection.
Mm-hmm. Like, she
Wow.
even told other nurses to help her with something else versus coming and checking on me. And it was my first adult surgery, so I didn't know what to expect. Like, to be alone in the hospital, and I've never dealt with that before. So
Yeah.
it was different.
Yeah, I figured that was frightening.
How do you deal with fear of judgment or putting yourself out there?
I just think, oh, I'm gonna help someone younger than me, or someone who is afraid to put themselves out there. I do makeup on Instagram so that younger girls can be like, oh, she has whatever disability or diagnosis, and she's doing makeup and she's wearing it and she looks good and she must feel good too. So I want to do that too. And then more and more people want to do it because they have someone that looks like them. They're not Kim Kardashian, they're not Beyonce. They're just a normal person with a disability.
Yeah. That's great. I think that's a great answer, and I think it's great that you think that you're just helping people and overcome obstacles and overcome anything they want to do. So thank you for being a volunteer in this project and wanting to do this interview, and anything else you want to share?
To not be afraid to do what you want to do. The only way it's going to happen is if you do it yourself. So if you want to be a makeup artist, go be a makeup artist. You want to be a doctor, go be a doctor. I know a bunch of doctors who have disabilities. I follow them on Instagram. Do whatever you want to do. Your disability should not limit your dreams. There's a way to make it happen, whether you have a disability or not. You can make anything happen. You just have to fight for it.
Excellent excellent words. I loved them.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Tiff, do you want to add something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so thank you for watching, and if you like this interview, please give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Our social media will be in the information box. Thank you so much.